You can't appreciate English literature unless you are, to some extent at least, steeped in the King James Bible. There are phrases that come from it. People don't realize they come from it. Proverbial phrases, phrases that make echoes in people's minds. They haunt our minds because we are a Christian culture. We come from a Christian culture. And not to know the King James Bible is to be, in some small way, barbarian.
Folks, Alex mentioned 2 books. I want to take the rest of my 1-minute rebuttal to mention a 3rd book that I want every single one of you to read. The Bible. I dare, yes, I dare all of you to go home, pick up your Bible. I know you all have one. Pick it up. Read it. Word for word, cover to cover, without help, without a guide. Please don't heckle me. Without a guide, I wouldn't heckle you. Without a guide, without a help, without a study group, pick up your Bible and read it. Because it's full of stuff that you would not believe. In fact, you won't believe. I dare you to. Before you write another check for this church, before you spend another Sunday on your knees or praying to a God, you owe it to yourself as Christians, as humans, to read every word of the Bible for which you're dedicating your life.
My own life, which is mainly devoted to the question of language, is inconceivable without, say, the King James version of the Bible, sometimes not by the Aquinas group, but by others called the Authorized version of the Bible, and by the Cranmer Prayer Book, which falls somewhere on the Protestant Catholic frontier, and other things. I couldn't imagine my life without being able to call upon verses and staves of this, or in fact without being visited by them when I didn't even call upon them. But that doesn't mean that my morality comes from that, or that I need the permission of the church by law established in Canterbury to think moral thoughts.
I was a fundamentalist Christian for many years and was studying with the intent to be a preacher when I became an atheist. So it's not like I haven't examined and considered Christianity. It's not like I haven't examined and considered the Bible. Some people, I don't consider myself necessarily an expert, but some people might consider me an expert on the subject. It was and I didn't go looking for a reason not to believe. My pursuit, my study, was to specifically fulfill my obligation, 1 Peter 3:15, where I'm expected to provide an answer, a reason for the hope that I have. It was a way of finding out, were my beliefs actually justifiable? Was I able to give good reason for other people to believe this?
Okay, once again, in reverse order, if I may. Religion gets its morality from us. I think it's very easy to demonstrate that. I'll do it from one of each of the 2 testaments.
You back on testaments?
Well, why
don't you write a book? Testaments are not great.
I spend a lot of time with my Bible. Okay, my Bible. I do.
I told you had
or
a bad Sunday
Babble, as they
school
call
teacher.
it in Dixie. I do. In the there's a very famous parable in the New Testament where the alleged Jesus of Nazareth tells a story about a man from Samaria. We call him the Good Samaritan, who, finding a fellow creature in enormous distress and pain, goes well out of his way to alleviate his suffering and to follow up to make sure that his...
First of all, thank you for having me on the show, and thank you, Jeff, for not saying that atheism is evil. I will go on record and say that the Vatican is, in fact, evil. I will go on record and say that anybody who commits a crime deserves to be punished for that crime, and if that makes atheism bad, So be it. I will go on record to say that communication should never be censored, and if that makes atheism bad, so be it. And I will say that it's 2010 and there is no invisible magic man in the sky. Now that doesn't make me evil, but if you think it does, so be it. That's your problem.
What makes you positive in this, David? What makes your point of view a positive influence on American life?
The point of view that we're a positive influence on American life comes from the fact that we promote knowledge. We promote logic. We say, hey, listen to what we say. If you don't agree with us, you're not going to be punished. There's nothing bad. We're just going to disagree. That's the mark of truth. That's why atheism is growing so quickly in America, because we're not using a sword. We're not using politicians. We're saying, hey, this is what we believe, and if you don't agree, that's okay. We tell everybody, read the Bible. I'm telling you, read the Bible, front to back, cover to cover, like you would read a book. That's how you make atheists.
Bible myths are given a special privileged treatment. I mean, they're regarded as somehow set off on one side, away from all these other myths. No doubt you'll find truths in the other myths. You'll find some truths of that kind in Australian Aboriginal myths.
Yes, although I'm looking for God.
Well, which God? I mean, why not Jupiter? Why not Zeus? Why not Thor?
Yes, it's Christ who is ultimate in Christian faith.
Exactly.
We don't worship the Bible.
Exactly, we don't worship the Bible.
We have to read the Bible to understand who Jesus is. And
Really?
we need the Old Testament in order to make sense of Jesus' claims about himself.
But I'm not denying any of that.